T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Let's get ready to sucker!
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a very special post-holiday edition of the YSN in the driver's seat with Corey Renforth. You know me, I'm DJ Yoakley, and you know the guy across from me with the beautiful cowboy hat on. Much too rich for my blood. He is the one, the only, the Mushmouth Bandit, the 43 Bandit. He is Corey Renforth. Corey, how are you, brother?
Oh, I'm good. I'm going to apologize to Rich and Ryan Johnson for my lack of
That's on me. I'm going to take responsibility for that one.
I was going to text you Saturday night, as I usually do, but I had heard you were having a good time at a golf outing from a reliable source.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
He said you were having a real good time. So I was like, yeah, maybe I'll just let him sleep that one off. And then, that ended up being the beginning of the snowball rolling.
Yeah. So we did have a great time at the East Palestine Gridiron football golf outing 2 days ago. And then knowing full well, now I got up crazy early for that and then golf with three goobers, right? And then we were right in front of your reliable source. But on the top of that, it was like, and you know Betos, it turned into a how many of these twisted teas can we drink?
Man, I wish I wasn't trying to keep it PG. There's a word that starts with an S.
Yes.
And then show right after.
It was absolutely that. And we actually didn't golf poorly. But I fell asleep probably in the middle of the day. Didn't know what the hell time it was, all of that. And then we had to pack the kids up and go to Lake Erie the next morning. So I couldn't tell you what day it was. We had like 6 4th of Julys. And today is number 7. So, and you're sitting there with the red, white, and blue on. So it's still supporting America.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk some racing. We're gonna talk some life. And we're again apologize to that. And we're gonna have them on a future show, correct? The 18th.
Yeah, the 18th. We're gonna schedule for that
live, or are they gonna be over?
Hopefully they'll come in.
Yeah.
they made the trip once, so they know where it's at. And it was all for naught.
I'm on the golf course, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, he went. And then you're like, yeah, I've got people here too. I was like, oh boy, we're all in trouble. So
I was like, I feel bad.
Many apologies to them. So I apologize.
We'll get them in.
Absolutely. And, it is in the driver's seat. We do have a phone line, a hotline to call in, courtesy of our friends over at MP Vivo, 330-886-0813. It's early on a Monday morning, Corey. Relatively speaking, the day after 4th of July, everybody was up late. Hopefully they still have 10 fingers and 10 toes. But it's been a explosive weekend for you as well on the old track. Talk to me about how Saturday went for you.
It was up and down. I wouldn't say my heat race was too stellar. I finished where I started, but it was plowing. Like the front end wasn't turning, so it was kind of like every time I went in a turn, like it kind of wanted to go straight. And obviously, if you're going in a turn, you don't want it to go straight. But I made like a slight adjustment and kind of did some air pressure in the right front tire and kind of lubricated everything, so maybe everything would loosen up and roll a little bit, because I just couldn't get it to roll over. Like you want the car to like roll over, and it just wasn't doing it. It was real stiff, and so I just kind of made sure I doused everything with lubricant, like maybe it would break loose and roll over, and it did. I think I can drive about as fast as anybody can when I get into like a rhythm.
Yeah.
It just maybe takes me a few more laps right now to find that rhythm. And then that rhythm can be broken where some people might just be like, yeah, here's a little hitch. But me, I'm like, whoa, here's a guy. So it's going to break that rhythm for 2 or 3 laps. And then I got to kind of get it back. And like there was a point in the middle of the race where I found that rhythm, and it was nice, man. I was able to really turn and burn. But yeah, I mean, it's just you kind of got to get in the rhythm of things. And then, there's more experienced guys. They come up on somebody to pass. It's probably going to happen more naturally, or they're just like, hey, been here, done that. Like, just kind of throw it in there. And then
just kind of go around you.
For me, I'm like, all right, I got to set this up. Like, I got to get behind this person. And I got to set it up and find when I got to do it, which that might not be the right mindset for that. But, I mean, it's still, we started 11th, finished 7th, which, I mean, once you're in the middle of that pack, it's kind of difficult to move up unless you're like Steve Mix, like came from the back straight to the front. That dude's just, he's been doing it. Like, he's good. I tried to, I watched in awe for like a lap or two. I was like, oh, wow, this is how you're supposed to do it. Okay. It'd be nice if I had that confidence. But, I mean, you just tell, like, he had the confidence of he's driven that car for a long, long time. They're one with each other.
Yep.
He don't have to take 5 laps to.
It's like putting on your shoes. You know exactly what to expect.
You don't have to take 5 laps to become one with that car. As soon as he puts some belts on.
Yeah.
Boom.
So people, you said you started 11th, finished 7th, and a lot of people will sit there and go, "Oh, great." You know what I mean? Like not on the podium, not in that, but they don't realize how much it takes to go from being 11th to being 7th. You passed 4 cars. That's fantastic. However, you had 2 weeks off, and I'm not trying to build in excuses for you, but you had 2 weeks off, and essentially you're trying to get comfortable with that feeling, that race of you're in the driver's seat again, no pun intended, but like.
Yeah, I said last week it's going to almost be called out of the driver's seat rather than some NASCAR driving experience thing I did in Daytona. It was really hadn't been in the driver's seat too much.
Did it take any time for you to kind of get your bearings back of being back in your car?
I'd probably say that heat race was like I didn't feel in control of that thing. Like I said, it felt like it was plowing and it was pushing, which usually that means it's tight. So like it was like the age-old thing, like if you're tight, the front of the car hits the wall first. If you're loose, the back of the car hits the wall first.
Yeah.
Makes
sense.
That's how they describe it sometimes. Like, so it was wanting to like drive straight rather than turn. So it was just tight and it needed to loosen up and roll over. But I think probably the lubricant did more than the air pressure adjustment I made. That wasn't some like genius air pressure adjustment. It was like probably just something needed to loosen up and needed a little bit of help with that.
So from your standpoint, when you're talking about athletes, you're talking about coaches, you're talking about, just sports in general, everybody watches tape. You have a GoPro typically in your car somewhere that you're able to kind of watch what you do. Does that help you? And does that you share that with other drivers to help them?
Well, it's there. So if they want to like see things like maybe how their car was, if they were in front of me and they want to know how their car was like acting, they can see that.
Right.
Like Zach was driving Jerry Langley's car. And I texted him yesterday. I was like, hey, were you on the brakes a lot? Because I think my first year, I didn't use the brakes at all. I was just kind of like letting out of it.
Just go.
And it would slow down enough to like go through the turns. A lot of those guys, like, they're like, that's not the fastest way to go around. Now I use the brakes, like, to drive in a little further, use brake a little more, and the brake helps it turn because however you have your brakes set up, whenever you do push the brake, it rolls it. So it does help. Like, so it's just something you learn, I guess. I mean, but I seen like the rotor was glowing. Like, I'm like, man, that's a lot. Like, I didn't know if he was hitting the brake that much to make it glow or something. Like, he has a problem. So like, I can use that camera to help Jerry identify a problem he might have, like mechanically
down the road too.
Like, he might be able to look and be like, oh yeah, that's
not
way
good.
Too hot. Like, yeah. Because I mean, if that thing's glowing, it's hot. But I mean, I use it in a gym, like, and a lot of them other guys, if they watch it and they see me doing something wrong, mainly my hands, because you can see my hands. Like Jim said, I was holding my hands wrong. Like I was kind of like a 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock. He kind of told me I wanted to like come up to like 2 o'clock. And I can try to make sure I'm doing that, listening to the advice that people that know what the hell they're doing give me.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I can use it for. And on those nights where I didn't think the car was handling extremely well, some of them guys can tell me, like, no, it was you. Like, you upset the car by, like, doing too much.
Yeah.
You didn't trust it, or you didn't let it go and let it do its thing. Or maybe it was just unreasonable, and everybody's like, man, you really have to fight in that thing.
So film study does come into context with you. You've really kind of dumped, not some, I mean, obviously you have to buy the GoPro, but you look at that, you've dumped some heavy resources into this from time, understanding what you're looking to fix, and you've kind of pushed it out to the racing community.
Yeah. I mean, on my YouTube channel, it says if you have the time to critique all the things I need, if you want to put in 60 hours to like watch 2 minutes of video and tell me everything I did wrong, because there might be a 5-minute video, be like, oh, I got a list. This dude is a jacked up driver. What the hell is he doing? I mean, the first year I was driving like I was driving a big rig, dude.
Yeah.
I was like hand over hand, like they're like, hey, that trucking stuff's got to go. Like this ain't eastbound and down, buddy. This ain't no Kenworth out there.
They know who they're talking to. They're talking to the Boomhauer Bandit.
I am the bandit.
All right, so let's talk about. Do you still get the butterflies? I mean, I know you got it early on. Do you still get the butterflies when you sit down in that car and realize what you're about to do?
Well, like I said before, it's the whole leading up to.
Yeah.
I got the butterflies.
But once you sit down in the car, you're good?
It's fine. Yeah. I can go sleep, man. Let's talk about that. Like, wake me up. Like,
that's insanity.
But, like, I don't eat. Like, I can't. Like, I'm, like, too nervous to eat. Like, day of. Just can't do it. Like, I'm like just walking around, pacing around. Like, I kind of like, talk to people, try to keep my mind off. Like, it's just the waiting that kills you. It's not the actual part of the racing. It's like the waiting to race. And I know some of them guys, like, they're just like, hey, this is another fun day out here.
Yeah.
And I think it's a fun day. I think it's a great day. I love being with all them people. But I'm also like, man, you suck. You shouldn't be here. Like, these people actually know what they're doing. What are you doing?
Oh, you're talking to yourself.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I'm just like, you don't know what you're doing. What are you doing with all these people? They actually know what they're doing.
So, I mean, you talk about the racing family a lot. I mean, you guys all kind of take care of each other. We saw Zach come in and was part of it. And obviously we're going to have more of your friends and family, racing family on this show. What is it like when you're cheering for somebody? Now, you're obviously trying to win. You're a competitive person, and everybody out there is trying to bring home the gold. But when you're out there and you see someone that doesn't necessarily always have that winning spirit, mentality, and execution, I guess, is the best way to. When you see someone cross the finish line for to bring home the goal, what's that like for you? Is that a celebration for you, or is it okay, I can do this too, or kind of both?
It's a mixture of like, I want to feel that one day, but I'm really happy for you right now. Like, that's cool. And like I said, like watching Steve Mix and Miranda Myers, like she won this week. Just like, I got a pretty good view of spectating what they're doing, and it's like I'm in awe of that sometimes, And like our guest Rich Johnson, who was supposed to be here, and his son Ryan. There was like the first year I was doing this, I tried to follow Rich. And I told him, I was like, it took about half a lap. And I was like, hey, that's a man driving that car. You're just a boy. Go sit down. Like, because, I mean, that dude will run the wall, and he has no fear of it. And it's like, he's right up there. It's like, that's what, so I gave about half a lap, and I was like, yeah, you can't do that. You're not there yet. So I was like, you just sit down, like, you just let him do his thing. Because I was like, well, he's going pretty good. I'll just follow him. And nope, it wasn't gonna happen.
Not a chance.
Yeah, I didn't have the bravery for it. Like I said, some of them people, you're just like in awe. You're like, wow, I hope I can achieve that one day. And we had mentioned his name wrong. His name's Luke Molchak. He's a young kid. I think he's like 12, 13. He's young. He's like might be 14 or 15. Wow. He races with us, and to watch him last year just get into like the dwarf car, and he kind of ran in the middle. Like anywhere from like 5th to 11th or so, like in that area. And then in the last month or so, to see him being like he found it. It clicked. Like you just hope it clicks for you at some point. Like they all say it. Like one day it just clicks, and like all of a sudden you're there. Like whatever had happened, and you've gotten used to it. And that kid's found it. Like he's turning and burning now. It's like now I gotta try to keep up with you now.
Is that a confidence thing? Is that finding your confidence, or is that just experience, or both?
I don't know, because my perceived lack of confidence by talking crap about myself is not. It's not actually. It's a false lack of confidence. Like I do have all the confidence in the world in myself, but I just don't like to put that out there. Like
Yeah, you don't like patting yourself on the back in public.
No, it's like, but I mean, I don't think I have the full confidence of them guys. Like I can do that perfectly.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I do it as bad as I say I do it, but I know full well in my heart that I can't do it as well as some of them guys, because I've seen them do it, and gals. I've seen them do it. I've watched them do it, and I'm like, wow, maybe at some point I'll find that, whatever that is, like, because you can just watch them just like throw that car in there and like, yep, this is where it's going to go. This is where it's going to stay. And there it goes. I'm like, maybe it'll stay. Did I put the car in the right place? Like they know where they're putting that car and what it's going to do. I'm like, is here good? Like, no, not good. Okay, we'll try somewhere else next time. We'll put it in a different line next time. Like, I have gotten out of like a mindset of I'm gonna run the bottom and staying on the bottom, or I'm gonna try to run high and staying up there. Like I'm like, okay, I'll go low. It's not working. Now I'll try running up a few lines. There's like different lanes in the track.
So you're still kind of experimenting.
Yeah, you're trying to figure out, and then you try to remember like what the track conditions were and where the car ran good. I mean, we're at Goods Raceway every weekend, and that's the same track every weekend, same place. I mean, Jim doesn't like turning into a road course every weekend. It's the same quarter-mile dirt circle, but it is different every weekend because the humidity in the air makes a difference on how the track's going to handle, and like the temperature during the week.
Yeah, and was there rain? Was there?
Dry, that all makes it like a different track in the weekend. So
from your standpoint, what's the optimal track condition for you?
Optimal track condition. Kind of dry and slicker, because if it's real wet, it's real slippery. If it's real dry, it's real slippery. Like, and there's like a sweet spot in the middle where it's real moist and real tacky. Then everybody has grip. I've never really changed the setup on my car, but it seems to be like once it dries out and it's slippery, maybe just towards the end of that tacky area.
Yeah.
That seems to be when it does the best.
Okay.
Because it just, I don't know, like at Sharon, it was real dry, but that thing was on something, man. Like I said, it was on something, but it was dry, and like you find that gets slick, but it was perfect. Like, so I think that's its sweet spot, but I could be completely wrong. But I mean, this weekend Jim watered down the track, and it was probably by the time we got out there, it was still moist, still wet, but it was kind of probably trying to get towards the end of the wet, tacky area, and then. But I mean, everybody was seeming to do pretty good with their grip, so we were probably still in that tacky zone.
Gotcha. The phone lines are open in case you have a question for the Bandit. 330-886-0813, 330-886-0813. A couple questions before we let you go on this fancy Monday edition of in the driver's seat on YSN. The first time you ever grab the checker flag, what is it going to be like to you? Is it going to be just a party like no other? Is it going to be literally like 4th of July?
Well, Jim might want to be backpedaling because he's out there, does an interview with you. I'm a hugger. I'm gonna probably grab him, twirl him around like he's like middle school date at a dance, buddy. Just we're gonna go for a spin. I don't know, man.
Have you thought about that?
Never done a backflip, but I might bust out.
Oh my gosh, the one and only victory because you're gonna snap your neck.
Fat boy backflip, dude.
Oh boy.
No, I know I'd kill myself doing that. It'd be like, well, he suffered a career-ending injury in his first one.
It was a good run.
Yeah, he went out with a bang. But I don't know, like I've never really thought of it.
You're getting excited right now just thinking about it.
Yeah, I know, but I'll probably just do something stupid as I usually do, mumble something out.
I mean, do you spin out? Do you do anything like that?
I mean, you could, I guess. You try to keep it because there's another group of cars like waiting to come out on a track, so you don't want to do like a 14-minute burnout, like you don't just want to be out there celebrating. Jim's like, here's a flag, go.
Just let him go.
You've wasted your time. See you later.
Do you actually get the flag?
Yeah, he gives you a flag. They take some pictures and he does a little interview with you. So
that's cool.
I'd probably try to keep that short. And it would probably be like, I know none of you understood anything I just said. Thank you for listening to it.
That's the one email we get every week is, I don't know what he said. You guys need the closed captioning. And I was like, leave him alone.
Well, he knows it as much as anybody else does. So it's not like a surprise. I try to enunciate here.
You do fine, man. You do fine. It's all well. I mean, we still have a lot of people out there tuning in right now. I mean, I can see them. No comments to this point, so they're staying quiet. But I think they just want to hear the bandit speak.
Yeah, well, that's the worst thing I do. So if you like listening to me speak, you should probably at least come to the race.
Watch your race,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I don't think I'm too great at that, but I definitely do it better than talking. That's for sure.
We do something with our golf guru on the show, typically on YSN every Wednesday, and it's the tip of the week. So instead of the tip of the week, let's put a twist on it. What's one thing that you learned this week in this week's race about racing that you didn't know last week? Oh, daggum.
I don't know. I mean, because the changes were so extreme in the car between the heat and the feature, just like it wouldn't turn to. It was great. So I learned something there. Like, just be patient with that, and like sometimes you're not gonna have it in a heat race, and you're gonna have I didn't have it in a heat race at Sharon either. So there's obviously something I do need to learn there, or I can just let it go because heat races don't pay out anything. You can finish last.
Doesn't matter.
You can finish. It does. I mean, it'll help you start further forward in the starting line up there, but it's not the be all end all. The feature race, and you're not going to win it on lap one.
I don't remember any Disney stories that they started first and finished first, and they got a movie out of it. So if we're doing this, we're doing it big. Start 12th or 15th, and then go first.
Back there. I mean, but sometimes you can't make extreme changes because, like I said, the weather conditions. It cools off, gets a little damp out. Then now the track's changed.
Mark is asking him about using his brakes on restarts.
Well, that's because Mark got rear-ended because I got rear-ended and pushed in him. So I should have been on my brakes there. But if you watch the video, Mark, you'll hear like a bang, and then you see your car getting hit with another bang. You hear bang, bang.
It's like the what's that? Bang, bang.
Yeah. It was. I think that was Zach that hit me. I think.
Come on, Zach.
Yeah.
Kyle.
Well, Zach attack got me.
All right. Last question before we let you go. Let's talk about the personalities on the quote unquote tour. Who is the best dressed when it comes to the day of the race?
Ooh. Who's got a nice? Mark's got pretty nice like Alpine fire suit. If you're going fire suit wise, I just kind of got some like off the shelf. Like, oh, this is the cheapest that we can get away with.
Got it from Gabe's.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. Like in our class, nobody really has like a nice, like fancy one that's kind of like custom or anything. That's maybe we should try to do that. Get
a custom suit.
Yeah, the YSN Bandit fire suit.
All right,
that'd be pretty cool.
Put it up. Let's get it.
But like, yeah, I think Mark's probably got like everybody's just wearing fire suits really, so it's like hard to say.
Love it.
I mean, I go in there just wearing fire suit pants and a t-shirt that's like.
Do you really?
Yeah, like, and then I throw the coat on over top of it when it's go time. Lost my pants this week, so luckily I had like a one-piece fire suit that really shows off fat boyness. Kind of accentuates the gut there a little bit.
Fat boyness is one word?
Yeah. That sounds good.
Hey, accentuates.
Yeah.
I like it.
Really like put it out there, like in case you thought this guy was a little slim, maybe. Wrong.
That is going to do it for this week's episode of In the Driver's Seat. We appreciate Mark chiming in. Jen said the pink fire suit, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Now she wins. Yes. Hers is awesome.
All right. So Jen wins the Best Dressed award here this week. Tune in next week.
Matches are called.
Back on Sundays, right?
Yeah.
Back on Sunday. So you get 2 editions of In the Driver's Seat this week.
We'll have Nick Groves, our replacement driver.
Okay. Nick's going to be on the show?
Yeah, next Sunday. And then the Sunday after that, we'll have Ryan and Rich.
All right. So make it up to them. I'll bring in breakfast that day.
Okay.
So that's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for tuning in. If you have questions, as always, give us a call, 330-886-0813. But now the Mushmouth Bandit is on the run. So we'll catch him up next Sunday. That's going to do it again for us here at YSN. Tune in a little bit later. Rocky is going to have the fantasy report brought to you by our friends over at For the Franchise. So certainly you don't miss that. And all the things great to come here on the network. So long, everybody.